Hi everyone, welcome. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Tuesday, September 24th, 2024 for another fun little card reading today. Once again, I was pulled strongly to come outside to record this, and the keywords that came up were grounding and roots, but there's also going to be a lot of other key messages in here today. Might be a little bit of a mix, so not just nature intensive, although I was called to pull out some nice bundles of things: juniper, white sage. Got some beautiful assorted seeds in this beaded necklace, also kind of prayer necklace. Also, these other little beautiful decorative burlap bags. Those came with this wonderful grounding oil with vetiver in it. And if you want to know where I got that, you can feel free to email me, and I can let you know. And also, I was drawn to pull out this other little packet of incense cones because the name of it is Ireland by Moonlight. And again, the cards that we're going to get to are very kind of Celtic, Irish, feel to it, spirit to it, is what I want to say. Actually, I'll show you the companion books. I have them laid out here. So this is the one for the Roots deck, and highly recommend. It's a simple little deck, but beautiful. It shows the Ogham, the tree alphabet, has some beautiful things in there. And then we have the Celtic Spirit Oracle, the Sacred Forest Oracle, and the Woodland Wardens one. So just so you see where we're headed. Do have also a couple of bonus decks. We'll see if we get to those. I think we're probably gonna have enough to get into without them. But let's just see how this all goes, as ever. All right, so for right now, there are 3 groups today. Feel free to pick one of them, 2 of them, or all 3, however you like. The first one is over here. We've got a couple of sticks of Palo Santo on it. And a word here, or something to maybe think about, is chamomile. And it says German, so the specific type, so Deutsch. So chamomile and the Palo Santo, pretty much. Then the second group, group 2, is sweet basil, or they say basil sweet. And then we've got this necklace that I had found. Actually, this came from the Fountain of Youth, tourist attraction up in northern Florida. So maybe that has some appeal to you too, the water aspect or Fountain of Youth. It has a beautiful, what looks like a buck or a deer or elk or something. I think it's just a male deer. Okay, that's group 2. And group 3 is my little favorite little sassafras root wand. I use this sometimes as a little pointer too. And cilantro. Okay, so see if any of that is working for you as far as the selection. And there they all are. Okay. Now, before we get into the groups, though, before you select your group, I do have a couple of messages for the collective coming in strong. And bear with me with the camera work. If you've watched my channel at all, sorry, I just reached for something, so I moved the camera. You know that I don't really prefer to operate with a tripod. And actually, one I got broke right away, so I'm like, yep, not supposed to really use it, am I? So just bear with me if things are a tiny bit shaky or I move around with it. Mainly the focus of this too is just if you can listen in and hear my words, and that way too you can go about your business. You don't have to be like stuck watching the monitor or the screen of whatever you're watching this on. All right, so I have one message right off the top for everyone. Is a quote that I saw several years ago on YouTube somewhere. It was one of those like motivational or inspirational quotes, and it was used not terribly a lot, but when I saw it, I was always like lit up by it, like, yes, this is what's going on. So even for this, you can just listen to my voice on it more than just looking at anything, and I'm going to read it. Things are not getting worse. They are getting uncovered. We must hold each other tight and continue to pull back the veil. I'm going to read it one more time. I really want to make sure this quote lands or you really hear it. Things are not getting worse. They are getting uncovered. We must hold each other tight and continue to pull back the veil. So I know that's pretty self-explanatory, but when you can look at everything this way, especially with the intended chaos by evil entities out there, chaos can be, yes, very negative and devastating, but it also can be positive when you look at it, as far as it's revealing a lot of stuff in that chaos. And so what may appear to initially look worse, actually, if we use that, one of my favorite sayings of all time here for getting through life on this planet is, it's happening for me, not to me. When you look at it and say, okay, it's not getting worse, it's happening for me, not to me, then you realize that things are just getting uncovered. They're getting exposed to the light. And unfortunately, or fortunately, that's just the process of how it bubbles up to the surface. It kind of looks bad. But what do we know about looks? They can be deceiving. And to see things with your inner sight, your third eye, some people say, or just, in your heart space, where you really see and know things to be true or false. You get past the glamour or the imagery somebody's projecting, and you really just feel it out, what's true, right? And I just got a nice bam, like boost and power to my right foot as it's anchored into the ground. Like, yes, we ground in ourselves and we see the truth. No more deception, right? So things are not getting worse. They're getting uncovered. I just love that. Okay, so that was one message that wanted to come through strongly. And I know I emphasized it a lot, but it is that important. Another message before we get into the reading is one I feel strongly about now because of my geographical location here in Florida. I know a lot of people right now might start to be freaking out or just be, a little concerned, or maybe just have an eye on it, or maybe aren't thinking about it at all. That's good if you are in that state. Except it's good to have a loose eye on it in case you need to prepare something physically against any, potential harm from it. But right now, yes, in the Gulf, there's a storm brewing. It looks like it might have its sights set on Florida. Now, if you've watched this channel at all, tracked me at all, especially when I post my sky stuff, if you're new to the channel, also welcome everybody, whether you're new or returning. If you're new, I do these readings, but I also cover sky phenomenon, things happening in our skies, anomalies, also just, the spiritual messages and nature things. But anyway, if you've watched it all, what I'm doing when I talk about storms and things, oh yes, they're absolutely weaponized and steered. Make no mistake. There are things happening on the global level, and political wars, turf wars, with spiritual warfare too, and there's also galactic things behind it all. So just know that a lot of times these quote-unquote storms, hurricanes, actually I really am kind of ticked off. They're trying to rebrand them as cyclones. No, when they're here in the northern hemisphere where I am, they're still hurricanes. Trying to wipe out language we've been using forever, intentionally. There's a whole other reason behind that, but I won't get into that here. But the point is, it's a tropical storm that could potentially develop into a hurricane, is what they're saying right now. There are a lot of key tells in what different political figures come on TV, or whether people through the media, mainstream media, are going to be marching along with certain keywords and phrases. It's absolutely about spell casting, not just weather casting. So they want everybody putting their energy and focusing on these storms to amplify them as well and make them bigger. So right now, the best thing to do is remain calm, be the calm, the eye in the storm, yourself. You yourself, be the calm and the eye of the storm. And the more energy that we good, loving people can put onto that area, if you just want to, envision that the storm does not even become coherent, or does not even gain any momentum. It just dissipates instead. If we can just put that vision and that intention on it, already we're really helping to counteract, what the evil entities of this world are trying to perpetrate with these storms and wreak havoc and cause damage and hardship and fear. So all we need to do is stay grounded, again, getting back to what will be the one main theme of this overall reading, grounded and rooted. Just stay grounded and rooted in ourselves, knowing with the wisdom that we do have enormous, tremendous God-given powers within us, whether we realize it or not. And this is a beautiful call and opportunity for you to practice them. So what I do when I hear of these things is ignore all the media hype. I look for keywords of what's popping up in the media addresses through the, just quick little messages, or that they're putting on TV, and I don't look forever. I just listen to a little snippet, and right away I listen to some of the key words and feelings and intentions in those little speeches, and then you kind of get the gist of what they're going to go for, what the play is, for the strategy of unleashing the chaos or amping it up and steering it. So anyway, for right now, I just want to say to anyone in Florida and specifically, and yes, I do know there's storms going on all over the world. The general thing will apply for you too. Anytime a storm pops up, they're trying to hype it up. Just put all of your loving energy from your heart space and try to connect it in with your third eye, or your mind's eye, and just put all loving force on it, that it dissipates, it harms no one, no living thing, it harms nothing, not a person, not an animal, not property, nothing. and it just reduces back and fizzles out to its native nothingness. And if you can do that, it doesn't matter where they're saying it's going or not going. Make that the overwhelming intent, and that it's harmonious for all. Or when they occur, like on like here in the U.S. on the eastern seaboard, you can just say, hey, it just turns out, goes out into the ocean, hurts nobody, no thing, right? So that applies too for wherever you may be in the world. So for right now, for anybody who has a hard time, especially if you've been on this planet long enough and have lived through some really awful storms or hurricanes, cyclones if you're in the southern hemisphere, I want to do this right now because I do know people personally who did go through Hurricane Andrew, for example. I think it was in 1992 here in Florida, and I escaped it, so to speak, by a week. I had moved to a different, state, so I did not experience it. However, I had a lot of loved ones here, and when I returned afterward, I could just see it, the glaring absence of tree canopies. It was crazy. But anyway, a lot of people went through some extreme fear, not knowing if their houses would hold, especially if it was newer construction and not really built to code or well. And anyway, I just know there are a lot of people that might be experiencing a little bit of PTSD, some post-traumatic stress syndrome from it, whenever they hear about one popping up. So word to the wise, just kind of see where it is and then turn the TV off, your phone, don't look at all of the news hyping it, and just detach from that. Know kind of where it is, but then get right into grounding yourself and just saying, nope, it's not going to affect anybody. It's going to dissipate to its nothingness, or it's not going to be severe. It's going to be okay. Everyone's going to be okay. Keep putting that energy on it. All right, but for somebody out there who might be having a particularly hard time with this, I'm going to just hold these. So I want you to feel this. Hang on. I want you to feel this by seeing this in the sunlight and me holding it and squeezing it. Feel the power. Like already, I'm pretty much baking from the heat out here. The sun's pretty intense, and I'll say sun in quotes. If you know my channel, you know why. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the light is very artificial looking. It's very white, not golden at all. But anyway, just know that I am with you in spirit for anybody who's hurting, and we can make this, actually stretch this out to apply for anyone who might be hurting right now, especially if you've lost any loved ones, either to any kind of sickness or injections, foul play there. I want you to know you're not alone in a true sense, because there's a person right here right now, me, who connected in with my higher self and all there is, all the love there is. I am wishing you whatever you need right now. Healing, strength, love, comfort, a shoulder to cry on, a hand to hold, a family hug, big and warm, full of the light of the loving and golden sun and the loving source of all there is. I'm with you, okay? All right, so now that we've really looked at it, and maybe these beads and seeds, have offered you a little comfort to look at, now I'm going to pull out a card that I pulled on purpose from the Sacred Forest deck. And because I pulled this out before, I think a couple years ago. I've had this channel now for 4.5 years, and at toward the beginning, I think, when I started doing cards at all on it, because I wasn't going to, but I was led to. I did cover this one already, and I want to pull it out again because the message in the book is really nice for this. So storm, spirit, chaos, and what I mean by the message in the book is good. It really helps change our perception when we see or hear about storm and chaos, okay? To shift us into a calmer place, to see it with new eyes, so that it doesn't rock our boat, so to speak, so much, and that we can stay calm and grounded through these things, so that we can, instead of losing our precious energy and loving light to, oh my God, we instead ground in and channel that into very effective, powerful ways to shift the actual quote-unquote storms in our outer world when we key into that in our inner world. So this card is interesting, and it's so glaring out here, I can't pick up on all the detail. I hope you can. But here we've got, like the lightning bolt, and I think in the background there's probably some little faint image of Thor. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna maybe have to pull the camera away to see this because it's a little blinding, the glaring light. But it's 42 or number 6. Oh yeah, here's Zeus or Thor. I don't know who this is supposed to be up there. I think Zeus up there in the background. Okay, so I want to read this. So the emphasis on this is not the chaos or the storm, but your your inner spirit and ability to change your outer world by changing your own perception and amping up and ramping up your God-given gifts within you to make sure that you do have a powerful and positive effect on these things. I personally have focused now that I know the power of this, and everyone can do it as long as you have a soul and, you know, a beautiful living God spark within you. Not all of us do on the planet. That's a whole nother topic. But if you are, you're the one who found this channel, and I'm talking to you. I've been practicing this with the hurricanes for several years now, and I've got to say, once I keyed on and discovered this beautiful, simple little power to connect in on this, it has worked every single time, at least relative to myself and my loved ones. So give it a try. Okay, if you want to. So let me read from the book about this storm. Let me come back over here, and because I really like the message, at least from what I remember. Let's read it now and see. And we really will get into the reading. Okay, I'm just showing the book. I got to read it off camera. Yeah, I'll focus on something else so it's not so boring. Okay. Number 42 or number 6. Storm, spirit, chaos. Here, actually, I'll come over here. Okay. A fierce and massive storm has overtaken the forest. Trees are whipping back and forth. A torrent of rain pounds your head and shoulders. Crashes of thunder shake the earth as ragged shards of lightning illuminate the dark woods. All right, this card acknowledges potential chaos, or the need for chaos, as an activator for healing in your life. Spiritual chaos allows for the dissolution of outmoded beliefs so expansive, energetic life force energy can fill your life. If you are experiencing upheaval right now, know that the underlying energy is restorative. Embrace it rather than deny or suppress it. You're being healed on all levels. Of course, take time to find the calm in the storm, but also understand that the chaos can be beneficial in many ways. It can activate your creative life force. Alternatively, if your life is too calm, to the point of being stagnant, this card suggests that it might be time to create some chaos in your life. Try doing things differently. Step out of the old routines. If you are always early, be late. Beneath the surface, profound shifts and transformations are occurring. Although many assume that nothing good comes from a massive storm, every part of nature has value. For example, downed trees provide habitats for many kinds of animals, and lightning helps fertilize the soil. There is enough electrical energy in lightning to separate the nitrogen atoms in the air, which fall to the earth with the rain and combine with minerals to form nitrates, a type of fertilizer. Look for the silver lining in the current upheaval. Okay, then we have the spirit of the storm says, shred outmoded thinking and self-imposed blockages. Tear down walls of self-imposed limitations. Step into chaos and embrace it, rather than trying to suppress it. Do the unexpected. And I am not saying anything further on that because it is really self-explanatory. So yes, that is a beautiful mindset to be in when we have storms coming up, either that look like it on the radar or in our lives, metaphorical ones, right? All right, so let us start, actually. Let's get into it. Oh, and just as a little aside, when I read these messages out of the book, I do grab just random cards out of the deck as bookmarks. And the bookmark for this one is, let me just go down slowly, is Spirit Guardian of Spring Activation, number 36 or 9. And they just talked about, you know, storms. Sometimes we need chaos to get the juices flowing, activate some things, especially if things were stagnant. So I take that as a beautiful affirmation of spring, a rebirth, a renewal. Comes from any kind of chaos and storms. If you look at forests, a lot of times, you know, lightning sparks forest fires when they're not, you know, weaponized weather, that is, and like, you know, direct energy weapons causing it. And, you know, through the burning of the forest when it's natural, that's a natural cycle, because then it burns away a lot of things so that new life can spring up from the ground itself. It's a renewal, okay? All right, so let us actually do this. So group 1, I'll just do a refresher since it's been a while. Group 1 is the Palo Santo and the Chamomile. Group 2 is this beautiful deer with sweet basil. And group 3 is Cilantro and the Sassafras wand, or pointer. All right, let's get into it. Now I might truncate some of this, or it might go long, we'll see, since I had a longer intro than planned. But it is what it's supposed to be. Okay, so we have, as the little card to focus on, it's a beautiful card from the Roots deck. It says move, okay? And that overall configuration is one of the the tree alphabet symbols, okay? So I'm going to flip all of these over if you just give me a second. Let me flip all the cards over so that I can then read this group one in a cohesive way, hopefully. Ooh, and I'm just going to remind you, it is a cooker out here. Moving these cards, they are physically really hot. Okay. All right. All right, I'm just getting a little message here as I lay out the cards, just talking about hot. There's that expression, isn't it, if I can remember it properly, what do they say, get out? If it's too hot in the kitchen, get out. But you can also get more air conditioning on, right? So anyway, move. Let's see what we have. I'm going to go through, let's see, the order of the decks I was guided to lay down. So we're going to do the Celtic Spirit deck, and then the Sacred Forest, and then the Woodland Wardens. Okay, so we have move. Let me just do an overall. Then we have Peace Walker, number 9, says peace, gentle, and forward. So I already like that because it's talking about movement. The first card, move and forward, right? Okay, then the next card with that, two jumped out from the stack. I was only shooting for one, but a couple came out. So we've got an interesting labyrinth in the background, these beautiful blue wings, somebody who looks a little melancholy though. Number 11 or number 2, blue, depressed, isolated, help. And I can't help but notice though that we've got, the pair of cards that jumped out. We got 9, and then of course 11, which the evil entities and powers are trying to, or let's say evil powerlesses, we're trying to ramp up all the fear with that. But no, number 9 in and of itself is completion. And 11 here, I like the way it kind of forms like a gateway. If you add the 2 of these, it's a number 20 or 2 again. So really, it's like 9 plus 2 is 11. Everything in this is about 2, 9, 11, but not in a bad way, in a very positive way. And I don't want to go too much into, well, I'll just jump there. So when I see the Roman numeral 2, or that's an 11, it's like a gateway for change. So some of the energies, you might be either really in it and depressed and feeling isolated and needing help, but the overall of this is talking about move. And I just get a sense that even though it feels like it at the time, look at even Peace Walker, we're talking about movement. Okay, so you may be feeling this way, you may be down in the dumps, but that's just a temporary state of being. You don't need to stay there, and you yourself have the choice to get out. So you may not be flying out, the wings look tattered, like they don't have much left. You might be feeling like I have given it all, whether it's to family or friends, or you're exhausted at trying to get to the next thing for yourself, and it's just not lining up or coming. Things are confusing, it's like that maze, you just don't seem to get out of it. Just know there is hope, and if only the hope is that this is just a temporary state of being. Nothing can stay stagnant forever, even though it feels like it. You may have this chaos moment coming to shake things up, like we talked about. Where is it? Nope, wrong card. I can't find it right now. But you know what I mean. With that storm card we talked about at the beginning, the chaos, I highly recommend you catch the intro. If you glossed over it, go back to it. We have things come up in our life that seem adverse to just get us moving sometimes if we don't move quick enough ourselves. And that's not a threat or anything. It's just if you simply can't get out of it, don't worry about it. Nurture yourself. There's no clock on this thing as far as how fast you quote-unquote heal or how long it takes. However, do not have your intention to stay down here forever. Feel it, let it move through you, and imagine all your feels coming out of your body. You might even want to take like a detox bath and let like actual toxins in your body come out. You might want to try some green juicing, get some good nutrients in you. Eat healthier, of course, will help you. And just try to love yourself through this. And know that there are others out in the world who you don't even know, like myself, hint, hint, who are wishing you well, who are maybe in this same stage already ourselves and know what it feels like. And yes, we all, I think, at some point go through this. You will get out of it. So be blue, but just not forever, right? Whether you run or walk or crawl on your knees through this phase, you will do it. Just keep moving. Now the maze in the back reminds me there's an actual maze in the labyrinth in the floor, inlaid in the floor of a cathedral. Pretty well-known cathedral called the Chartres Cathedral in France. It's spelled C-H-A-T-R-E-S. You might want to go look that up. So also when you're feeling blue, like she's almost going into this fetal position, like a squatting fetal position, start reading things. Go online and look at things that might make you laugh. Ask for the help. Ask for help to get through this. Know that you will get it. Even if it doesn't come immediately, or you don't hear or see a sign right away, know it's coming. Just know it's coming. And even just say, help, please show me something that will lift my vibration even the tiniest bit, right? And it will come. So again, you don't have to run through that maze. Some people do crawl on their knees through these mazes and pilgrimages and such if they're pretty far leaning one way with religion, from what I gather. But you do as you feel. You may just want to walk on that whole maze in the Chartres Cathedral. It's just an inlay, so there's no walls of that maze. You can just walk across it. Just go straight, beeline for the center, and lay down prostrate on the floor if you need to. Do what you need to do. But just know that's temporary. Energy needs to keep moving, and you eventually will. Okay. And I don't know, I did spend a lot of time on there, but somebody is really grieving. You can get out of it, and you will move yourself out of it. Yes, ask for help. But know that you have the strength within, and you can connect in with that greater help, and it flows through you. So keep moving, and you are so loved. All right. And do it gently. You can be very gentle with yourself. Be very loving to yourself. All right, now we're going to go to, this card is Eagle Spirit, Freedom. And it's a beautiful card. And this is kind of the opposite of where we were, even though there's blue in the card and everything. But the spirit here is just opening up your wings and flying. So when you're ready, these little wings here will translate into a beautiful blue starry sky, and your new wings will be born, and you will be able to see things with a new vision and fly, right? Fly to freedom. You will liberate yourself through this. Okay, and the rooster agrees. It's a new beginning. It's like, I don't even know what time it is. Probably 4 in the afternoon. That rooster has his own time schedule, which is beautiful. I think, why should a rooster just have to only cock-a-doodle-doo? I know in Germany they say kikeriki in the morning. Why not whenever it wants, right? Going back to, the freedom aspect. All right, now I am going to read from the book on some of these things. I'm going to just show you the cards, then we'll go to the book. Because I love the pictures of this deck. I'm just not really sure about the meanings without reading it. And this one is the salamander and black pepper. And it's inspiration, okay? And then you have, let me go back. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. This one looks like 27 or 9 for the salamander. Then we have number 11 or 2 once again. So you already have that in the earlier cards. And another beautiful card, and this one says the goat and the willow. Okay, and it says overcoming obstacles, and that's what all of this is about, right? Overcoming obstacles to release ourselves, maybe go through the maze of life, not being too hard on ourselves, being gentle, so that we can get to be free and move, whether that means crawling, walking, running, or just laying down for a minute, taking a rest, and then picking it up again. Oh, and Eagle Spirit Freedom, I don't know if I said it's number 13 or number 4, and there's a Pegasus there too. So actually that's very telling, because you may go from here, you are being gentle, taking your time, and you're not just going to go straight from there to the eagle. You may have to go through this little process where you purify through shedding tears, healing, and then you still got to feet on the ground before you can quite burst up here and fly. Okay, so now let me just go to let's see, I'm going to go to the book on these things. I'm trying to see where I want to start. I think I'll start with the animals, and we'll see if I want to read from the book on any of the other ones. Give me a minute. I did bookmark some of these things just to make it a little quicker, and when I'm outside it makes things easier. Give me a moment, if I can find it, because I did it for all 3 groups. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to read the first one that I got to is the goat and the willow. Oh, and just, I heard on some channel, I can't remember which one now, I would give them credit if I could remember, something about the willow. If you plant willow trees around, I think they're really good at counteracting like 5G and other unwanted frequencies, wireless ones. Okay, we have number, again, 11, the goat and the willow. So let's see what this says for straight from the book. The meaning is overcoming obstacles. The goat is a symbol of balance, jumping with ceaseless energy, perching easily on even the narrowest footholds. Its vitality and grace are enviable. The willow is a symbol of mourning, often appearing on gravestones. In Greek mythology, willows are said to mark the entrance to the underworld. When combined, the goat and willow show us that there may be losses to suffer, but we can overcome them with renewed energy and the right balance. And I just want to add to that, not really happy about the interpretation of that willow. There's also so many other amazing meanings of the willow, especially in the Celtic alphabet, the and other, cultures. So anyway, upright, a recent loss may have you feeling down, or a new unfortunate obstacle may have appeared in your path. Realign yourself with your goals to regain control of the situation. How funny. This is a perfect period to the end of this whole sentence we were talking about. Okay, if it came in reverse, which it didn't, but I want to read it anyway, you may be feeling off kilter. The negative energy in your life may threaten to overcome you. Let the spirit of the goat lead you to a sense of harmony. Remember that life is a balance. We cannot appreciate pleasure without experiencing pain. And there's some questions. How can I better achieve balance in my life? How can I plan ahead to navigate the obstacles in my path? Okay, I don't want to put much emphasis on those last two questions. But what I do want to say is the goat, is often associated with Capricorn. If that's your sign, I've got a double cap. And it is about climbing, always moving higher, in fact, especially when there are obstacles, like they said, just balancing on a pinpoint when it would be nice to be able to spread out and ground on all fours, so to speak. So this may or may not have extra meaning to you if you have Capricorn in your chart. All right, and that just kind of emphasizes everything, again, to keep moving, don't worry about things, as you're going, just, have the eye on the prize, but don't put a clock on it, how quick it takes you to get it, or not, right, or if you get it at all. No judgments. Okay, let's go to the salamander, and especially no self-judgments. Those can be the worst, our own self-criticism, right? All right, let's go to, if I can find it here, bear with me. I know I bookmarked it. Hold on. Salamander. Here we go. Yeah, I don't even know the meaning without it. Don't really pick up anything without the book. So let's see what the book says. Okay. Inspiration is the meaning. Symbols of fire and heat. The salamander and black pepper call us to be full of energy and inspired. Both Aristotle and Pliny the Elder wrote of the salamander's ability to withstand flames, and the creature's association with fire is echoed in ancient Greek myth. Black pepper or peppercorn has an earthy flavor with a spicy kick, making it a perfect match for the fire-friendly salamander. Okay, in the upright position, the card is a new opportunity awaits. To fulfill it, you must remain inspired, applying your full energy to your creative endeavors. In reverse, it means you may be feeling the heat, stakes are high, and the pressure is getting to you. Remember the salamander's ability to withstand flames and hold your ground. Okay, so that reminds me of this, like you're withstanding the heat, you're holding your ground. Okay, it can be crying on the floor, or it can be, standing there and reading something, sitting down, if you've gotten up off the floor to where you can read and kind of engage the brain so it's not obsessing in a very negative cycle. You may look a little more elegant going through your sorrow, or not, so to speak, but just know you are tough enough to withstand it all. It doesn't matter what your physical outside is doing. As long as your inside is processing things, let it all out, cry it out, do what you must, for yourself. Be gentle on yourself and let those emotions out, especially so they do not stay trapped in your body and manifest as an illness, right? All right, and then just since I did have the bookmarks on these, I'll just tell you what they are, but we're not going to go through the meanings. Just little bonus messages might mean something to you, just even from the images of bear and ladybug. And it's the bear and cedar for leadership, and the ladybug and sweet pea meaning happiness. So again, the leadership is going to come from within. You are your own leader here. And let also you, meaning you connected to your higher self, let that lead you out of the situation. Okay? All right, now I'm just going to glance quickly and see if there's anything we want to hear from these other companion books on these cards. Give me a moment again. And I'm going to try to step up the pace a bit. I didn't plan on doing a long reading. But there you go. We never know. Expect the unexpected, right? Best laid plans have different results sometimes. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read this. Why not? If you're willing to hang in there with me, let's do it. Okay, 9. Peace Walker. Peace, gentle, forward. A light in the darkness. A beacon of hope. The Peace Walker is an elemental who resides on the earth plane to help raise awareness, to help others find their way home. There are many elementals who have chosen to walk this path to help humanity, all of nature and its many beings on this plane. They sometimes find it difficult being in human form, but understand it is for a greater purpose. At this time, our worlds are all connected, but this may not always be so if we continue to destroy what beauty we have in this world. This is the concern that they carry, and their task is not an easy one. Peace Walker asks you to take up the challenge yourself and do what you can to help raise the consciousness of humanity. Where can you help or set an example to educate or inspire others to look after nature and all its beings? Where in your life can you change your habits that have an impact on the plane? We cannot do this alone. We need all who are willing to listen. Another message is by drawing this card is one of finding peace. Peace is essential in this day and age to help us through the stressors of everyday life. It sometimes seems that stress and being busy is taking precedence over being calm and nurturing ourselves. There seems to be less time for ourselves. We are time poor, tired, and running on empty. This in itself is not sustainable unless we balance the scale by finding peace and calm, which means finding time to let this in. Because our external environment reflects our internal environment, by finding peace within ourselves, we can create peace in our external environment and vice versa. Make some time for yourself, even 15 minutes a day, where you can sit and just be. Meditate if it helps. Find your center. Get out into nature. When we emanate calm, it is infectious to others, and we receive back calm in answer to the energy we are sending out. Help others find their peace. If this is the one thing you feel you can do to make a difference in the world, the more we find peace, the more we find peace on a collective scale. Become centered and able to handle situations better. Bring balance back into your life. Make time for you. And boy, if that doesn't dovetail right into our next card, number 11 of blue, depressed, isolated, and help. Let me see if there's anything in the book about this, because that first message on Peace Walker just described perfectly, what can help with this card or where we might be. But let me go ahead and read this one too. Blue, number 11 or 2, depressed, isolated, help. Is this a time, oh, and by the way, I think that's a blue jay in the background with the blue card. Is this a time where you or someone you know is feeling down? A strong feeling of isolation that is so powerful you feel like you don't know your place in the world? Are you feeling alone and wishing you could find some way of making the pain go away? This is a time where you need to reach out. It may be as small as asking a friend over to talk to, or picking up the phone, hang on one second, and calling a loved one. Either way, you need to know that you are not alone. Your guides and spirits are always there and have never left you, even though you feel like there is no one. When you feel distant, ask yourself, have I put up a wall? Have I distanced myself from everyone? What has caused me this pain that I have felt the need to withdraw? Take a moment to think of the things in your life that create joy. It may be an animal, a hobby, a person that makes you smile. Draw on that feeling and make it grow inside you. Feel the joy, the happiness, and the love. Push away the bad feelings and bring your wall down, even if it's just a little. I'm going to stop and say one thing. I really hate hearing stuff like this. I don't like to use the word hate, but yeah, I kind of resent hearing stuff like that when they say, oh, just think of something happy. It'll make you smile. Think of a baby, whatever. Yeah, no. Depending on what level of sorrow you are in, that's not really going to cut it. But what you might be able to do is just envision, if you have a wall around you, envision that wall slowly coming down, whether you take it down brick by brick or whether a little flood of water comes over and washes something away, or if somebody else comes up and, you know, takes down some blocks and leaves you flowers. Whatever visual technique it takes just to take the edge off, you know, little by little by little, until you can build up to a little bit of, okay, less depression. So you can build up to a little bit of, okay, that was interesting, to building up to a little bit like, oh, okay, things are just okay, to building up to, okay, I can feel at least content. I don't have to feel happy about this, to, hey, you know what? Okay, I see that it's happening for me, not to me. I can be a tiny bit happy that I see that, you know, and move on and on and on until you can get a little bit more excited, right? And or till you get to the right music. You might want to play certain kinds of music as you go up that scale of getting to out of your bad state to a little more happy. So you might want to just, you know, play something. It might be a little melancholy at first to match your frequency. You're not going to be able to be down in the dumps and play the most joyous song ever. So find something that matches your frequency, and then notice as you play different songs what you can tolerate. Is it moving up in scale, like to a happier vibration, or is it going even more negative? And if that's the case, then definitely call somebody for help. If you don't have friends or family, I've been in that position, that are really around you at that point, even go to like a neighbor. Even if you feel like embarrassed that you don't want to air out all your dirty laundry, so to speak, or your deepest, darkest secrets. If it's a neighbor you can trust, who you might not be even great friends with at the time, but you trust them not to blab, not a gossipy neighbor, but one who will keep it to themselves, you know, you might find that that becomes your new friend or family friend to talk to. You know, if you're really, really feeling out there on your own, do make some kind of effort to reach out, right? And as we know, if there's truly, truly no one, and you've tried that, then yes, go sit in nature. You may find out of nowhere a cat comes up to you and purring and is sent there to you to help you heal, right? All right, so I did break in the reading, but let me keep going. It is always a good time when you are not feeling your best to ground and protect yourself. Your energy needs to flow as it may be stuck. Do a grounding and protection exercise that feels right to you. Sometimes when we are in a vulnerable state, it leaves us open to other energies that can affect us. So when we don't allow those energies in, it can give us just the lift we need. I'm going to stop again. Yes, that is so true. The more negative you are, the more negative entities can cling to you. So at the very least, if you can just stand up and go light a candle, or, you know, light some incense, some nice energies, you know, energied incense. Do something to just, and make the intention, or hit like a singing bowl, just like strike it once, or bang a pot, do whatever you can in action. And then with it, the intention that you're clearing negative energy, that you're, you know, only you're loved, blessed, and protected, and nothing of negative vibration can get to you as you go through this process. All right, last little paragraph in the book. If this card is for someone, if this card is for someone you feel is experiencing this, maybe it is up to you to reach out to them. Maybe they seem as though they don't need help, but deep down, it is exactly what they need. Small acts of kindness can be just what someone needs, especially to those that wear a mask to cover their sadness. You know what? That's brilliant that they brought that up, because we're always looking at the perspective of me, and this hurts, and this is bad, and whatever, which is true. But that's another great thing. If you are not in that space and you're actually like the one here, you've already achieved your peace. Yeah, maybe kind of cast a little glance around your world and just see more with your inner sight, and feel it out if there's any kind of disharmony in the force, so to speak, in the field. And if there's something you can do about it, you know, make that little action like they're saying. Or maybe it's in the collective that you feel it. You know, just don't forget to take a moment, even just like close your eyes and wish the world well kind of thing, right, periodically. All right, now the 2 bookmarks for that, and again, I'm not going to read the whole explanations, and we're going to close on this. Yeah, I think we're going to close on this because this has gone on quite a long while. Just for now, I'm just feeling like I got to get to the other 2 groups. But anyway, you also got number 16 or number 7. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's Godgiven. Transformation, knowledge, and magic. And I'm not one for like magic the way they spell it. I would just say that it's get in touch with nature. Maybe get in touch, learn about herbs, or what herbal teas can do and the healing properties of them. And this one is 6, the Crone Fairy Godmother. Wisdom, future, and truth. Okay, and maybe with this one, it's just whoever you reach out to that maybe you don't normally reach out to, but you're in such a desolate place You're almost like willing to reach out to anybody. May you find this kind of person, you know, who is full of wisdom and aligned with the truth that can help you as you move through your future. Okay? Oh, you know what? I said that was it, but I do want to see if there's anything from this Roots book with Move. And give me one moment there. Okay, I have it. Hold on. The plant they're showing is gorse, and I'm just going to very quickly, almost like in bibliomancy style, cast my eyes on if there's any key sentence and leave it at that. There's a lot of beautiful things in this book, but I'll just read the key message. That's where my eyes first fell. And it says, it's time to move, to travel, to see new things, and to see things in new ways. So yes, whether you're physically traveling to get things like, almost like that chaos message at the very beginning, sometimes it takes that to get us out of stagnancy. Yeah, physically move, whether you're traveling near or far, you know, you're moving your body and dancing, or you're just moving your mind from your head into your heart, seeing things from your heart space instead. It's just a, you know, again, key message of move. Okay, all right, that's it for group 1. And now, oh, you know what did I say? Your bonus card, it's the bookmark, let go. So sometimes you gotta let go of things so you can move and be free. Lighten the load, drop your baggage so that you can move freely, right? So that you've got both of your hands free to embrace all that the world has to show you. All right, now we are going to really go to group 2. Hi, group 2. Give me a moment to set up your group. Group 1 went on for some time, and I don't like to judge anything by time. Just go as long as we're supposed to. So let's see what happens with your group. And again, give me a moment. You've got this beautiful necklace. It's not fogged up. Let me just see. Kind of in shadow now. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. And you have the sweet basil. And now let me lay out all of your cards. So I'm going to just hover over here while I set up. Give me a moment. The most elegant way of doing this, but it is what it is. All right, hold on. Okay, almost there. And these cards are really physically hot because they've been outside for a while. All right, so your overall energy card here is Persevere. And this is coming from a beautiful deck with the tree oghams, Celtic tree omens or tree alphabet, and this is the roots thing. And actually, before I get into your reading, I'm going to do a little differently than I did with the first group. I'm going to read from the companion book, just wherever my eye falls, kind of like a fun form of bibliomancy. I'm going to open to the page and just read where my eye lands. Hang on, what catches my attention? Okay, well, like the first group, it's landing on the message. So the message here is persevere through the hard times. And since that's kind of self-explanatory, let me read a little more. Let me see. Give me a moment. All right, let me read a fun little combination here. So I'll jump around a bit. So it says, I've seen wild apple trees lose more than 3/4 of their branches, cracked and broken under the weight of the crushing snow. But then something amazing happens. The tree sends up whippy shoots from the broken places. It looks ridiculous, a tree with cracked branches and whippy suckers all over it. But if you can cut away the old dead branches and let a few of the suckers grow, you'll soon see sturdy new branches working to replace what was lost. Yeah, I think that's a good message, not only of perseverance, but, and actually your bookmark, which, you know, I often do, just pick randomly the cards from the deck, is heal. So, you know, perseverance, you know, we've got these little stick-like things, we've got the twigs, but then we get to the blossoms, and there's a time to pause, and there's a time to grow, and there's a time for things to go dead down to sticks, right? So that's the period where we might go into before, as a process of the healing. You know, we don't just go from a stick to the bloom of the flower. You know, we got to go into the leaves growing, things getting back, to the green state, before things can blossom. It does take some time. It takes perseverance. So, that's a key message. So that's the overall message. So let's see. Persevere, heal. Oh, and the plant on this is, the apple. So the apple tree. Okay. So then we get to another deck, and you get, the card is number 21 or number 3, and it says rest. And it says stop, recharge, and self-care. Now there's a very long message about that in group 1. So if this is really hitting, striking you as something that's resonating and clicking with you, definitely go see that one. It's nothing personal for me, for you having air time and watching. No, it's just that's all group 1 was about. Okay, now we're going to look at a couple of the other cards, and we'll see if I read from the companion books or not as well as a part of this. But yes, rest. There's a time for things to be, shedding of all blooms. There's a time for a tree to go down to like it's nothingness, no leaves, no blossoms, so that there's time for everything to rejuvenate and re-gear to bloom at the right time, the right timing, the right cycle. We've got the circle. At what point are you on the circle? And it almost doesn't matter, because it's like the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega, it's all tied into one. It's just a matter of what point are you jumping in or jumping off, on that ring, right? To see where you're at. And all phases and points or moments on it are equally important for the overall process. So this is just a call to rest, stop, recharge, self-care. Then we have the owl spirit, wisdom. And that's just reminding me right away, the wisdom to know when to do what, when to rest and when to spring into action. That's the number 27 or number 9. Okay, and even though we have an owl with the owl wings, we also have what look like butterfly wings. So again, the rest allows for the transformation. Excuse me. If we're always go mode and go mode, there's no time to cocoon and transform so that we can move from that caterpillar to butterfly. If we're always in one mode of doing things, whether it's go or rest, that's just not natural in the circle or cycle of life. There are times of movement, times of non-movement, and balance of it, and an alternating, oscillating motion, right? Okay, I'm going to move on again, and I probably will be reading from the book as well. Okay, then we have, looks like number 31, and pardon any glare. We got this turtle, and it's, I got to go off camera to read it. The turtle and coriander, satisfaction. Now what's funny about this is cilantro, coriander. Yeah, just looking at the herbs of your pile, so it brings me to sweet basil. Group 3 is cilantro, which reminds me of coriander. So you might want to be looking into the herbs, whether it's teas or cooking with some of these herbs might be something you might, this be a call for you to do. And I am going to be reading from the book on it in a minute, because out of all the decks, this is from the Woodland Wardens, and I love the imageries, but the pairing seems so specific that I do want to read from the book. So again, the overall message for this, the turtle and coriander, is satisfaction. And then we have what looks like number 2, which can, number 2. And this one is the spider and passion flower, which says creative ingenuity. All right, I know a lot of people shriek when they first see a sight of a spider. This might also be a call to look at things with new eyes. The moment that you can see something that you have ingrained in you, could be ancient lineage memories that something happened with a spider, I don't know, or even galactic origins where something wasn't so pleasant. Now is the time to see with new eyes, because all of life is beautiful, especially if it's life with the God spark within it. Now, there are some things, animals included, people, that do not have the God spark, that have been overtaken or otherwise compromised and kind of are soulless. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about anything with life in it, just normally, is beautiful. And the longer you look at it, you can find the beauty in it, if you can get past your initial fear. I overcame this with snakes. And I had a few experiences in the garden where they just like jumped out at me, and I almost, lost it, shrieked, jumped back, almost hurt myself. Until the one day I could look at the face of it as it traveled through the grass. And I looked at the face of it, and I got a very feminine, almost motherly energy of what a beautiful creature it absolutely is. Again, as long as it's not one that's demon-possessed after you. And it's just going about its business, just like all of us are in this world, no matter how big, physically big or small we are. We are a precious life, and the longer we look at it, you know, and some at a safe distance, of course, if it's something venomous, you know, take a look at it, but just know that there is beauty and love at the heart of us all. In this case, spiders create masterpieces all the time. You see people come and wreck their webs, they're right back on it, they don't give up, and I think that's the message too right now of that first card, persevere. They don't sit there and complain that some idiot came through and wrecked their web, right? If it's humans, intentionally or unintentionally. All they do is, okay, here we go again, put their head down, and now I'll weave it even more beautifully. You know, this is even more practice. It'll be even better. Whether it's smaller, bigger, it's going to be the right web for right now. Also reminds me of the artist energy, where to be a really master artist, most oftentimes, doesn't have to be the rule. It can be it's not the exception either. But what I want to say is not always the case. However, much of the case is to be a master at your artwork, especially if it's like oil paintings. I just know somebody illuminated this for me by life experience example, that if you are too attached to, and it's funny, reminding me of the web being attached to something. If you're too attached to the result of what that masterpiece is going to look like, whatever, you're really limiting your perception. And it's a very freeing exercise I've seen with some artists. They'll have what I thought was like the most beautiful masterpiece ever. And then all of a sudden they'll come over and just totally, you know, what you could say, wreck it. You know, they come over with other paint and completely cover it up and say, nope, that wasn't it. I'm going to start over. And you're like, what? What did you just do? Like my whole life I could never paint like that. And you just, you know, just covered it up. But that's part of the process, to stay fluid, stay open to new potential, new opportunities, and chances to make stuff even better. So that's just a message coming through too, creative ingenuity, you know, prime example there. And stay pure of heart, the passion flower. I think if you look up some symbolisms of it, it's something about the 12 apostles and this and that and the crown of Jesus and whatever else. You can look at that interpretation, but also for right now, I'm just looking at the purity of it, the white, and how open it is. They're very open to receive, to the extent that there's even this extra little quote-unquote like antenna popping up to even, you know, surpass, you know, the opening of that. It's almost like a satellite dish where we got the antenna and we got the dish to receive, right? So it's all about creative ingenuity, is receiving those messages from your higher self, from your core, from your heart space, and connect it in with all there is, you know, with the source creator, which is ever, ever expanding and infinite, right? So anyway, that's that card. Now let's look at the turtle. Let me find it. And the coriander. I don't know where I put the book. Hold on. Here we go. Give me a second. So actually, I'm not going to read from the book about the spider. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Okay. But your bonus card for that page, the bookmark, is the hare and the oak, new opportunities. And I think that pairs nicely. You know, you stay open, you know, stay open to receive. And then, you know, new opportunities can come. If we're closed and have our perception is too jaded or stuck on one way of seeing, you know, there may be less opportunities. All right, and that's part of perseverance too, right? Keep the open mind, be receiving, even if the world is showing you the opposite, where you just want to curl up and die or go away and not receive anything. Try to keep that open mind and open heart. You know, protect yourself, sure. Don't just have it totally freely open where you just get stomped on. But have it open with the intent that it's open, but you also have the intent that you're protected in that process. Okay, so let's read about the turtle and coriander, satisfaction. Let me just see if I want to read the whole thing or not. Yeah, I think I will. The turtle and coriander calls us to be satisfied with what we have been given or what we have achieved. It invites a moment of rest and reflection. Perhaps due to Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, turtles are symbols of patience and good health. In this folktale, the slow but determined tortoise wins its race against the speedy but distracted rabbit. The turtle triumphs by pacing himself, illustrating the adage, slow and steady wins the race. Similarly, in the Victorian language of flowers, coriander indicates concealed worth, reminding us that things may not always be as they appear. In other words, a dedicated tortoise who puts in the work can achieve just as much as, if not more than, the swiftest rabbit. Okay, upright position, which is what this card is, says slow down and enjoy the journey. Avoid rushing towards your goals for the sake of winning. Arrive in your own time. All right, if the card were in reverse, it's not, but I still like to read the messages. Beware of stagnation. While slow and steady might win the race, standing still gets you nowhere. Okay, now I would add to that, though, yes, it might get you nowhere, but it also might get you everywhere if you're guided to stand still in those moments. A lot can be gained from the no thing or the nothingness That's the void moment. That's the black slate moment where everything is black. It's the 0 point of creation where everything that there is born. So yes and no on that one, right? Depends on where you're at. But all of this, you know, points to, let's see, slow down and enjoying, you know, persevere. Persevere does not have a swift energy behind it. You know, persevere is slow and steady, wins the race energy, is there through the seasons, right? Healing, it's also usually not like a rapid healing situation. If I can get to that card, there it is, right? Healing does take time when we have wounds, whether they're physical or emotional, right? So it's kind of a slow moving energy. And again, that's extra confirmation on that is the rest card coming right up. Rest, right? And again, the wisdom to know when to fly actively off your perch, you know, get off up your butt and get active, or when to just pause a moment and let that transformation happen so that you can go from a ground crawler to a flyer, right? Okay, I think that's it for now. I was just going to see, oh, I will let you know, I think you got an extra bonus. Yeah, your bonus card, just as a bookmark, I'll put it down here, is number 6, and it's the frog and the lotus, and it says metamorphosis. So I love it when these things line up, because what was I just saying? With this card of the wisdom, she's sitting there waiting to transform into a flyer and not just a walker or a ground crawler, right? All right, that's it for group 2. We're going to move on to group 3. Thanks, everyone. Group 3, you have the sassafras root as a pointer, or wand is how I use it, as a pointer, usually. And you also have cilantro. And just give me a moment, I'm going to set up your group. The cards and everything on this table are getting hotter, physically hotter by the minute, by the second out here. All right, so give me a second to set you guys up. I'm going to put the camera, let's see, I'll move it over here while I do it. Thank you for your patience. And let's see what we have. Okay. And here we go. So your overall energy or message is coming from this beautiful Roots book and card deck, and it's understanding in the reverse. Now, I don't necessarily like to read things in reverse, but actually a lot of good messages do come through that position. So I'm going to leave it that way because I took a little peek ahead, and it does apply to your group and the messages that came through. So let's do this. Before I get to that one, I'm going to do a combination of just saying what comes through and also reading from the companion book if I'm feeling it. So we're going to do the Celtic Spirit deck first and look at your cards. And you have a keyhole in the heart shape here. And it says number 29, which is also an 11 or a 2, heart center, connection, love, receiving. Then you have from the same deck another ring, but this time a circle and not a heart with a dragon eye, gold coins. And it says, sorry, there's a bit of glare, number 32 or number 5, the gatekeeper. It says gatekeeper, power, abundance. And actually, I'm led on your group to do things a little differently. We're going to just read all of the cards, and then I'll go to the messages in the book. So we have air spirit, we have this beautiful boat, and it says knowledge, right? And it's number 1. Okay. And then we have from the Woodland Warden's deck, let me get to the number. I have to read it outside of the viewfinder of the camera. So we have, it looks like 37, if I got that right. That's number 10 or a 1. And we have the Coyote and Datura, deceit. Okay, so let's kind of look at the overall again. We have understanding in reverse, and let's see what comes through and where I want to go with this thing. Okay, well, right away, before we get to the understanding card in reverse, understand card in reverse, right away, you know, the key to a nice balanced life and receiving golden opportunities is staying in your heart center. Everything begins and ends with you, at the heart of you. And when you're okay inside, your outside reflects that. Absolutely. Personal example, I just went through something where on a spiritual level, I was asked to have forgiveness, for people close to me. And, in a situation where I was fairly wronged, and I always take the higher road and, have understanding that everyone's doing the best they can with what they have to work with on this planet type thing. Doesn't mean, though, it won't hurt when some people's actions are wielded against you in a negative way. But deep down, I know everybody who has the breath of life in them and the God spark, they're trying to do their best. And also, I don't know if they were sent here specifically to do that. In the role of my story, in my play here, if everyone is an actor on this world stage, as has been said, it's true. We're like little avatars down here. And it, could very well be that, I need you to do this at this point in my life, so it gets me moving back to the first group or the overall message of chaos. Sometimes we need something to disrupt our otherwise complacent life to get us moving into a certain direction. But anyway, I don't want to go too much off on that tangent. The main thing about that is somebody very wise told me once that you can always forgive the person. Doesn't mean you have to forgive their actions, right? So if somebody's done you wrong, done you dirty, you can still get to a place rather easily if you want to, if you make that decision, to forgive them, right? Just say, look, they're trying to do their best. I'm sure I've done things not intentionally that have, hurt people, rubbed them the wrong way. It happens. And sometimes God even works through us to rub someone the wrong way on purpose. And you're like, why did I even say that? I didn't mean that. How could those words have come out of my mouth? I know they hurt that person. It's almost like another force overtakes you. And two things can happen. It can be the God force saying, we know you're strong enough to handle the repercussions of what happened when you say that to that person. They need to hear it and you're the one to bring it. Or it could be like some kind of demonic little voice saying, do this, and you're not supposed to do it. But you absolutely can feel the difference. Because if you're good intentioned and something flies out of your mouth that is way out of where'd that come from? Then that's a higher force, a higher mind, a higher heart doing that, because that person you're interacting with absolutely needed to hear that at that time. And maybe there was no one better to bring that message than you, even though it'll leave you perplexed. But anyway, the heart center is connecting in with love from that heart center so that you can receive beautiful things. And that's that next card, the gatekeeper. See all those coins dumping out? It's almost like they're dumping out of the heart center or from the, I'm not even looking at that as a dragon eye, unless it's like an all-seeing dragon in a good way, like a galactic dragon that creates life and balance in the universe, not an evil dragon kind of energy. This is just like your inner wisdom, your mind's eye, which, is best when you can totally anchor into the heart space. And when you can do that, then you got, things dumping out in abundance here with the coins. And so if your gatekeeper is your heart space and not your head space, then you have much more, power and abundance, or the ability to bring it, into your world. Let's see. Air, spirit, knowledge. And we have this beautiful swan-like boat. Maybe you want to look into swan as spirit animal and what those meanings are. I like that these golden little orbs almost, they do remind me of these coins moving over. And for me, air is also symbolizes communication. And it's interesting because she's in a boat, like a space boat. It looks like she's on the water, but she could also be on the fog and the air. So both air and water are symbolisms of communication. So in this case, she's bringing a message either through the air or through the water, the elements. But also that inner knowledge, and again, goes back to the heart space. Those little orbs seem to be coming out, from her chest area, the heart space area, that auric field around that area is the heart space. And so knowledge, comes in many forms. We've got book knowledge with the intellect of the mind, but we also have the intellect with a capital I coming from the divine, from spirit, from that other place, otherworldly place, right? And then the best is when we can anchor it into our heart space and really feel it and then make it meaningful. And then we can communicate either through words, reading things aloud through our voice, messages carry over that too. And also with telepathy. That's another form of wavelengths, right? That when we are each attuned to each other, we can be thousands of miles away. We feel it and hear it. Okay, and that's how, in a way, God, Spirit, the love that all there is, communicates with us as well. Sometimes through animals to bring messages, sometimes through people, working through other people that you come across, sometimes through words of a song that's playing, right? All kinds of ways. And also through telepathy. If you sit down and connect with the tree, other messages come through that way too, for example. All right, now I'm going to read from the book on the coyote and the datura because it says deceit. And the only thing that I'm thinking there too is just back to, I probably said it on one of the other piles already. You know, well, I didn't say this. The Star Wars quote finds its way probably into a lot of my readings, but it is so true, and it's so poignant and so important, is that Obi-Wan character in Star Wars says, your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them, meaning don't look with your physical eyes. Feel it out through your inner, you know, sight and your heart space, and of knowing of what's true and what's illusion or deceit. But let's see what they say, because this deck, I love the imagery, but the specific pairing that she does, you know, I'm not sure. It's always best coming from the book to read it, I think, anyway. Not always best, but often. All right, so we'll read it straight up. It says, deceit. In the Victorian language of flowers, Datura warns of deceitful charms. It's a beautiful flower, but extremely poisonous, and said to be an ingredient in the salve that allows witches to fly on their broomsticks. Likewise, coyotes are often depicted as tricksters, known for their slyness and cunning. So when the card is upright, it says, beware the charming stranger. Before opening up to someone new, consider that they may have to gain from your... Oh, sorry. Let me read that again. Before opening up to someone new, consider what they may have to gain from your trust. In the reverse position, it says, now is time to trust your instincts. If your gut is telling you something that isn't right, heed the warning. Okay? And that's, you know, pretty self-explanatory and so true. In this case, I would just say, as, you know, it relates to the overall reading, again, don't be snowed by the outer beauty of things, right? You know, it may come to you, like they say, I've said this before too, the devil isn't something grotesque and awful, you know, comes to you that way that you want to reject it immediately. It comes to you often as like everything you've ever wanted and more, charming, like even the little gleam sparkle coming off the tooth kind of thing, right? So again, if you're seeing with your inner sight or your soul sight, you're not going to be snowed or duped by the outer world, you know, by that little charming little grin or the beautiful little trumpet flowers calling you in, you know, and trying to lure you in. You know, instead look at that trumpet as your, you know, your warning by going with your inner sight, your heart space, to feel it out, friend or foe. Often, like I say too, when if you look at the sky part of my channel, when I post all the things about the sky anomalies, you'll see a lot of cloak and craft. And I was given kind of the sight through my heart space, you know, which also connects into my physical sight, to kind of see them, you know, kind of like an inner radar that's attuned to finding them now. And then the more I zoom in and use the technology of the camera phone and the digital applications, where I can edit the attributes of the photos, you know, just upping, tweaking the contrast, saturation, things like that, then the actual craft starts to emerge to the extent of seeing machine parts. So I'm not seeing the machine parts right off the bat with my physical eyes. I just feel it with my heart first, like, hey, something's right there. And then I take a picture. And even if I see nothing in the sky and take a picture, because I feel it, then I do what I normally do, editing the attributes of the photo, and then the thing will emerge that I knew was there, I just couldn't see it with my physical eyes. So again, this overall thing, and I'll go back up to the upper card and probably read from this book too. I get it now, why it's in reverse as understand. Because the key message here is to stand under no one other than your own inner, connecting into your own inner heart space. You're not standing under anyone or anything. You're standing in, if anything, you're keying in there, you know, to your own heart space and heart knowledge, heart intelligence with a capital I, right? Let me see if the book here, though, has anything else to tell us about it. And then we'll see also what plant that is. This card comes from a book called Roots, Insights, from the Alphabet of Old Ireland, and it's by, and I'll put it down in the description box, I guess, Olivia Wiley, I think. And so anyway, let's see, she puts what tree or plant it is, and it's the oak. I should have seen that one coming. I'm going to do a little bit of visual bibliomancy. I'm just going to kind of scan as I open the page and see where my eyes fall and read from there, if it makes sense. Let's see. No, that one doesn't, so let me go to the one above it. Okay, I'm just going to read this. Two little things that caught my attention here. So the message is, do not shout your convictions aloud. Stand by them every day. That speaks more loudly. Go read that one more time. Do not shout your convictions aloud. Stand by them every day. That speaks more loudly. And then a little thing under there. Under the oaks, the acorns are falling. The light is gold. Beneath the great boughs, there abides a deep serenity. Now I like that it's talking about falling as we are. We just had the autumn equinox. Yeah, and I think that's just a message to look deeper under the surface of things, right? You may be wowed by the light as gold there, you know, the golden light that the acorns may have, but it's saying to look beneath the big boughs. You know, there is that deep serenity. So in the bigger picture, there's something much more to it. So just maybe also not just looking at little surface things that might catch your attention as red herrings. Look deeper, but I would say more than that, feel deeper, you know, from the heart space. All right, everyone. Well, I think that's going to do it for now, for today. Let me see the time on this thing. Yep, we'll close now. Oh, one more thing for the group I just read, group 3. Hold on. You had one little extra card as a bookmark in addition to the understand, and it's learn. Okay, so I will just leave it at that. In case that means anything to you. And this is an invitation, too, if you want to look deeper into the whole world of the tree alphabet. It's also called the Ogham, and that's spelled O-G-H-A-M in the Celtic world. Okay, Celtic spirit world. All right, everyone. Let me go back out. Have a beautiful now. Till next time, Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.